Hi everyone, welcome to Ask an Armorer. My name is Kia and today I'm packing. So I have been hired to be the head tech for a local one-day youth tournament tomorrow, so I thought I would just take you along with the process with me as I pack up my toolbox, organize everything, and get myself ready, and at the same time sort of explain my thought process about what I decide to bring for what tournaments. So let's just get started. As you can see, it's a bit of a disaster. I will fully admit I am not great about keeping my toolbox organized on the go. I kind of use things and either just toss it back into the general thing, or I have a tote bag here of random tools that I pulled out to use at various times and was too lazy to actually put away. Hi, Duchess. So we're gonna just make all of that look nice and pretty and be ready to go again, and I'll just show you what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. So let's just get everything out here. So let's do Now, I'm not certain if I'm going to bring all of this as well, like my extra pairs of work gloves. Probably not necessary. It's just at a club that's, you know, in one of the suburbs north of Toronto where I am, and they have built-in pistes. So there's not going to be any setup or teardown, so I can probably leave these at home. So back into the tote bag that they go. This as well, what is a fun new thing that I just got for myself. It's a, as you can see, ratcheting screwdriver with a flexible head. So when I'm trying to get into really tight nooks and crannies and just a standard straight screwdriver can't get in there, this is something that I've seen that looked kind of fun. It was on sale, so I picked it up. But don't think I'm going to need that. Again, I'm not planning on crawling into any like nooks or crevices to fix things tomorrow, so we're not going to bring this either. And then my self-care items for tournaments, my little foot massager and my lavender muscle relaxer bag. Again, it's a single day. I highly doubt I'm going to be so stressed I will need this. And if I do, well, I'm coming home in the evening anyway, so I'll just use them then. Alright, so this is the tote bag of stuff that I will likely not be bringing, don't need to bring, so we're just going to put this over here, and we might throw a few other things into that later on, but we don't need it for now. So, moving on, I'm going to start with arguably two of the more important things that I'm bringing on, my two test boxes. So this one here is the one that I personally built, so it is let me just open it up for you here. So it is just a series of 3 multimeters that all correspond to the A, B, and C lines, and then I have a variety of other little things like my shims, my weight, my lame probe. The tournament tomorrow is just épée, so I don't think I will need the épée probe. I suppose if somebody has a lame and they just want to try it out, sure, but that won't be part of the morning check. So there's that one that we'll bring. Get that in there. And here is my Favero test box. So this one I need to repack as the power cord and probe ended up not in the box last time I put it together. Not entirely certain how I managed that one, but you know, here we go. At least the box itself is safe, which is really the hypercritical part. So we're just going to make sure that we have all of the pieces. Did I put my second? Yes. So I have 2 mask punches. One lives in each box. Pretty much my philosophy with these is if I am called very last minute to a tournament, if I grab my worn on the waist tool belt and one of these, I will have the absolute bare minimum necessities to be useful at a tournament. So that's why I try to have, you know, a mask punch in both if I have the space and the weight available. And since I'm just driving up tomorrow, I can bring whatever I want. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and plop this right back here into the box with that. Get that settled in. Making sure that all sides are securely filled with foam to make sure that it doesn't rattle around at all. And then I always like to keep one of these. This was a tip that I picked up in the States. As you can see, this one was given to me by a mentor down there. It says USA. But basically, if you have an old bit of lame or even just like a piece of copper sheet metal, something like that, you can clip your lame probe to this and then just lay things on top of this and test them from there, which is really useful if a fencer is in a hurry and doesn't realize that your probe is still clipped to their lame and they run away and it could potentially break everything. So this just prevents that from happening. Plus, you can put stamps from all the tournaments that you work on this and have a fun little keepsake of all the tournaments that you've been to. So this, and again, if it's the lame material, it's flexible, so I can just fold this up and lay it nicely on top of the screen of my box. And then to finish off, I've got yet another little bit of foam just to protect everything. And I'm going to place the probe weight in here along with the box's power cord. And then finally, the wires for the lame probe, I just tuck again behind there. One last bit of foam just to keep everything secure. And then we just close her up. So there we go. Each one of these is now completely set for a tournament with the test box, the lame probe, and the mask punch. So, and then again in here I have my extra set of weight and shims just for additional testing that I may need to do. So I tend to bring both of these to a tournament, even if it's just me that's going. In tomorrow's case particularly, I do have a trainee coming to volunteer with me, get some experience at a variety of different levels of tournament. So one of these I will assign to him for his use for the tournament should we need it, but also there's an element of I have been to enough tournaments where we needed extra people to jump onto the line temporarily just to clear a quick, or just to clear a really long line. So having an extra test box available for them to borrow temporarily really helps that go, versus if they're not able to actually do all of the tests available because they don't have the right equipment. So, and again, I'm driving up, so I don't really need to worry about weight or space restrictions. So those are both ready to go into the test toolbox once everything else is set. So another final little thing here, this is all sorts of itty-bitty little spare parts. So this is a tea sample container. I quite like them as, again, they have all these itty-bitty little containers in them that are perfect for fencing stuff, and it's pretty. I'll be straight up, it's pretty, and I like bringing pretty things with me. So I always like having at least a few spare parts with me. Obviously I can't do a huge number of repairs with just what's in here, but it should be able to help us get most of the way through the tournament without too much delay. So the final little thing that I'm going to show you before we start getting into actual tools is this little box, which contains my stamps and ink pads. And I just like bringing this because it keeps them all nicely contained safely. Again, it's a cute little box, and it's the perfect size for, here, it's going to be a smiley face stamp tomorrow. It's going to be great. I can fit 2 more stamps in here comfortably if I need them, as well as 1 more ink pad, or 2 more ink pads, 1 here and 1 here. So again, I can fit up to 4 stations worth of testing stamps in here, which is really useful. Again, there's only 2 of us tomorrow, so I'm only going to bring 2. Don't need to worry about it. Later on, I will throw in some scraps of paper or note cards so that I can stamp those with the symbol and give that to the head official and the other referees so that they know what they're looking for. Alright, and now the super fun part is organizing all of my tools. So I have these 3 bins that I tend to fill up with all my stuff just to keep it a bit more organized, and then some of the things that don't fit in here, I just slide down the edge. But I think we can get rid of some of those. Like, as I said again, this particular club already has all the pieces set up, so I don't need to bring my 200-foot long tape measure to measure anything out. So we're going to leave this here, don't need to bother bringing that. So let's see here, what else is in here? So I will bring 1 pair of work gloves. This is my main set of work gloves. As you can tell, they've been with me through some stuff. So this is just one of those more to soothe my paranoid brain than anything else, but it's one of those where I know if I bring these, I will not need them, but if I don't bring them, it's kind of like when you don't bring an umbrella on a cloudy day. Guaranteed that will mean that it rains. If I don't bring these to a tournament, something will go wrong. That means I would really want my work gloves. And they don't weigh that much, and they're, you know, just flexible. I can shove them into wherever. So these we will bring somewhere. Let's see here. Alright, we're just going to pull everything out and figure out where it's going to go. Oh. I actually don't know where this masking tape came from. Huh, okay. We're not going to bring this. I don't think I need that. And then some screwdrivers and a bit of scrap towel. And finally, my tool belt. This needs to be in here, as does this. This needs to be here, and this needs to be here. So this is what I mean is when I said the absolute bare minimum for me to go to a tournament is if you call me an hour out, I can grab this and one of these 2 boxes and roll up and join the line and be okay. So not ideal. Please don't ever do that to me. That would be very stressful. But we're ready for it. We can do that. It's okay. So yeah, so this always just stays as is. I leave it packed up just because I don't want to have to keep fussing around with it. So this just lives on top, and it's the first thing I see when I open my box, and I just immediately put it on at the start of the day, and I know I'm ready to go when I've got this. So this is just going to wait over here for now. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So I try to keep these 3 boxes at least slightly themed. So this box is stuff that I keep right next to me when I am working on stuff. So, like, I have a quick needle and thread set for if there's holes in a glove, or normally I have Fabri-Tac, but can't find that right now. So I'm just going to grab some tacky glue as a backup. Pretty much just I need a flexible glue that can bond fabric. This is useful for gloves that don't have a hole all the way through them, but there's a hole through 1 layer. So we can just throw a dot of this in there, or again, Fabri-Tac, which is a actual fabric glue that dries really quickly, and it dries flexible. So we can just toss that in there, and it supports that area so that the hole doesn't get bigger. So that's what that is. And this is a big bottle. Sort of normally I'd have a smaller bottle, but that's fine. A couple other kinds of glue here. My hot glue gun is needed, and then some rubber bands and safety pins, and yeah. So this is pretty much that kind of thing that I keep in there. Over in here, I have a little bit of patching material, and we're also going to throw a little bit of electrical tape in there. That's always a useful thing to have. And these are just things, you know, my external hex as well as a multi-sized screwdriver. Those will just live in here. This is a general tools box. So in here I have some extra batteries. Those are for the multimeters in here in case those die on me. As well as, again, AA batteries just tend to be useful things to have around. So also in here I will toss in my second Allen key. And I don't think there's room for this in here. Maybe? Maybe? There we go. Beautiful. of course, my small travel hammer was already in there. So we're also going to finish off, I'm just going to throw my little test box in there, because that's always useful to have. And then this looks like it is pretty much filled up, ready to go. So we might transfer some of these into here just for later, so we got more space in that other one. But yeah, we're just going to close that up and say good. And now finally, in this third one, again, I have my very fancy little micro screwdriver, and I am going to take this set out of this pack, and because unfortunately the pack is like just barely too wide to fit nicely in there, but that's okay. We're just going to take these out and leave those in there so that we've got them with us. Otherwise, we've got a few more tools in here. We have some Q-tips that go along with the acetone to if I need to clean out a tip or something. And I am just going to fold up my octopus test cord, and we're going to slide that into here as well. Alright, so those three are now packed up, as probably not in the absolute most efficient way, but good enough for now for what I need. So we're just going to go ahead and put those in here. So there's a very specific way that everything fits nicely in here, which I discovered, and it makes me very happy. So these three, and all four of these go nicely in here, and then this can just come and settle into the bottom here. And so we have this nice, pretty much flat surface to put my remaining things on. So this here is going to be very useful. This is just a portable soldering iron, just a fine tipped one for working on reels. Again, with this one of the main issues that I anticipate coming up is reels breaking, so I need this on hand to take care of those if needed. Although, fingers crossed for me that we don't need to worry about that. So that can just kind of slot right on top of there. My spare parts, the same thing, I'll tuck into the side here so that they're nicely taken care of, and my stamps right there so I know where they are. And then final little things. Gaffer's tape, always useful. That will just sort of get tossed again wherever I find room. A magnetic bowl, which I always like having around to make sure if I have to open up a tip or something, we don't lose parts. So, and then we have our glue goes on top here, my towel and gloves. And then I am just bringing two epee body cords. I know these ones work. These are pretty much brand new that I don't lend out for tournaments at all. These are, again, for testing the reels. So I don't need to worry that it's a floor cord issue or anything. I can really isolate it to the reel and see what's going on. And finally, my handy dandy tool belt, which will just lie right there. So it is not the prettiest pack job in the world. I'm sure that there are other people with incredibly efficient packing that just is so soothing to look at, but this works for me and it will work for tomorrow. So thanks for joining me on this little packing adventure, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this, please be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, if you have any questions, comments, or other topics you'd like me to cover in the future, let me know down below. See you in the next one. Bye.